Hi, this is Dr. Otto Janke, Executive Board Officer with the New York Chiropractic Council with my very special guest all the way from, Steve, where are you at right now?
Encinitas, California at the moment.
Encinitas, California.
Yeah.
Dr. Steve Hoffman, glad to have you with us today.
Otto, it's so great to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, awesome. Dr. Hoffman's going to be speaking with us at our seminar, at our conference coming up October 16th, 17th, 18th in Tarrytown, New York. You ever been to Tarrytown?
I actually have been. I grew up in New York, so but it's been a long, long time.
It hasn't changed much.
I'm not surprised.
We got a stellar lineup, and one of the things we brought you in for specifically is for the MC2 technique.
Right.
I was on the website. Can you give us just a quick oversight of what the MC2 technique is and how this is going to affect us?
Absolutely. And do realize, Otto, what I'll be doing at the convention is an introduction to it.
Sure.
Normally, it's a 12-hour program. I can't do that in two. But MC2 is a tonally based model that is, rather than bone-based or nerve-based, muscle-based, it's nerve-based. And it is really contingent on the physiology of both the patient and the doctor.
Cool.
The good news is if we look at the model of subluxation that we all use, most of us, bone out of place, affecting a nerve, affecting a muscle, affecting a bone.
Right.
The postural models put the muscle system at the top, and so they preset the muscle before they adjust the bone, which then affects the nerve, which then affects the muscle. Tonal models put the nervous system at the top. How can I affect the nervous system in a positive, constructive, accumulative, constructive, survival way in order to influence or create balance or ease in the muscle system, which then attaches to the skeletal system? And so rather than me moving the bone, they move the bone. It's a very honoring system to both the doctor and the patient. If you want longevity in practice, this is it. They're the easiest adjustments you'll ever deliver. It's also honoring to the patient. They'll love it, and the results are fabulous. So that's it in a nutshell.
I saw it on the website. I'm a guy who's never used an instrument. Do I have to use an instrument?
Not at all. Not at all. It is the only other technique endorsed by Dr. Holder to sell the integrator adjusting instrument.
Cool.
But it is not an instrument-dependent technique. It is not an X-ray-dependent technique. I live on an island part of the year, and when I'm on the island, I bring nothing with me but these. So you can adjust by hand. You can move bones if you love moving bones. It's really a question of knowing where, when not to, what the line of drive is so that you have the least resistance from the patient, and the secret sauce, which is torque.
Sure.
We live in a three-dimensional universe. I want there to be a three-dimensional adjustment rather than a two-dimensional adjustment, and torque is the third dimension.
Actually, cool. It's fantastic. So I'll leave the link down here for everybody. It's going to be mc2technique.com. Also going to leave your email down there for our watchers also. Again, coming up on October 16th, 17th, 18th at our convention in Tarrytown. You're going to have the 2 hours there. They can also find a link towards other seminars you'll be giving?
On mc2technique.com. Yep.
Okay. And how'd you come up with this? I guess that's going to be a big question for you. I know we only got a couple minutes.
It's not a problem. It's a great question. I was at a Total Solution program, one of the early ones. Dr. Gentempo saw me toggling people, wanted to know if he could get checked. I said, of course, I'm honored. Put him on the table, got my listing, which took seconds, put him on his side, toggled his atlas, and he got off the table and went, "How'd you do that?" Long story short, he had been going to George Banich in New Jersey, who's now passed, but George was an old Blair practitioner. Wow. And what Pat explained was, George must have taken a dozen x-rays, stereoscopic views down each condyle to get a listing. You looked at me for 2 seconds and got my listing, got the torque right. It felt as good as any adjustment I'd ever gotten from George. How'd you do that? And that was the genesis of actually teaching the technique.
Wow. And from that point on, how many years or months did you take to actually incorporate the whole thing?
Well, we originally, for the first couple of years, just taught a one-day upper cervical only technique. But there was so much cry for, well, what did you do after you cleared their neck, Steve, that we added a 4-hour full spine assessment to it. So today, it's typically a 12-hour program. It can be taught in as little as 10 hours in a one-day intensive, which is what most sponsors opt for these days.
Well, fantastic. That's awesome. What were you doing before that? So how'd you get into that?
Well, it's a long story, Otto, and I don't know that we can necessarily get into it today. But the long story was I was full spine and I finished with the neck, and I filled in for a Grostic practitioner who had me clear the neck first and then look at the rest of the spine, and everything changed from there.
Wow. Talking about Total Solutions, I met you the first time at Total Solutions in Buffalo a long time ago, about a decade ago.
Yeah.
And you called me out on I think it was one of the trust falls we had. You made me tell the truth to myself, which was unique for me at that time.
Dang.
Again, coming up October 16th, 17th, 18th, I'll leave the link down there for the council. And I'll leave a link down there for the mc2technique.com. I got to tell you, we tried to have you come to up to Syracuse before, and we couldn't get that scheduled. So we're pretty psyched that you're going to be coming down and be with us in New York.
I'm thrilled to be there, and hopefully we can do a full MC2 seminar sometime in the future.
I think that'd be really cool because I know there's going to be people who, you and I both know there's going to be people who are going to say, hey, listen, when can we set that up? And I think the council will be more than happy to try to schedule that for you. That'd be awesome. So I'm going to leave the link down there for the mc2technique.com. Of course, going to leave your email. And Dr. Hoffman, again, I think we're going to have a fantastic weekend. We truly appreciate you going to come down and give us 2 hours of your time and your technique and your expertise and your love, more importantly. And I think we're going to set the world on fire with this. I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much, brother. I look forward to being there. Thanks for having me.
As our good friends in Bachman Turner Overdrive have said, you ain't seen nothing yet.
There you go. Rock it on.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Wonderful. I will